Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our preview series on the Let's Talk Arsenal show, which I'm joined by a few of our members from the Discord server to go into plenty of detail about the next game, which of course is at home to Crystal Palace. Finally, the international break is done, it's finished, it's over, and it has also gifted us an opportunity to laugh at Manchester United, which is always good and enjoyable as well. As I say, I'm joined by some of our members. Let's introduce them to you. First of all, it's Jordan. How you doing, mate? Are you well?
Good, man. How's it going?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yourself?
Good.
Good stuff. Also joined by Pablo. How you doing, fella? You good?
Hey, how's it going, Tom? You all right? Yeah, doing well. Looking forward to this and looking forward to tomorrow to actually watch our team play for a change.
Absolutely. And Ludwig, how you doing, mate? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm just so glad the international break is over and there's finally something good to watch on TV again, like United
absolutely.
losing.
Well, that is where we're going to start, because I'm curious as to how our Arsenal fans have been keeping. So, Jordan, how have you been filling your international break without the Arsenal to entertain yourself?
It's been a very, very boring time because those Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings and waking up knowing there's no football at all is just it's killing me.
It's been tough. Pablo, any tips for people to entertain themselves during the international break?
Just watch TTC in the morning, and that's the only way to keep in touch with Arsenal. That's it.
I didn't prep him for that, to be fair, but it's there. And I'll take it. I don't care.
To be fair, apart from your shows and everything, and obviously going on Twitter and stuff, is just boring. I miss Arsenal so much. So I'm not really into international football at all.
No. Ludwig, any other tips other than, of course, Pablo's obvious 8 a.m. one?
Well, I was lucky enough that one of the games I play, the esports, is the World Tournament's on now, so I was able to watch the groups, so that was entertaining. So yeah, that was fun, but I need football again. It was good. It's good to have this weekend.
What are they doing? Watching others play games. It's ridiculous.
What different is football than watching someone else play a game?
I feel like you've had this argument before. We'll move swiftly into the actual game tomorrow, of course, and get some thoughts and feelings. We'll, of course, get the predictions and our guys' lineups as well. But we're going to kick off by looking at some individual things. First of all, Jordan, as is always with Arsenal, when there's an opportunity to close the gap on our rivals, thanks to some fortunate results. Manchester United, of course, have dropped points. Spurs, Chelsea, Man City have all picked up wins. Liverpool as well. West Ham beating Everton, which obviously gives an opportunity to catch them up with points as well. How important do you think this game is in the context of this season? How much of a test do you think it's going to be?
This season, these next 3 games are probably what are huge for us for this season, pretty much, because these matches like this, when other teams are dropping, we need to capitalize. For a game like this, where a team like Crystal Palace, they are a solid team. They're good to watch, but they're not really winning games. And that's the key point here that we need to emphasize, that our midfield, if we handle it right, we can win this game. And it's key that we do. It's
absolutely key. I mean, Pablo, we got a chance here to go within, I think it's a point of Manchester United today. I mean, looking at the Premier League table now and seeing the top 4 with Brighton obviously drawing against Norwich as well means that they're on 15 points. If we win our game, we go within 2 points of the top 4, which if I'd have said to you after those first 3 games, that after 8, I think it will be, that will be 2 points behind 4th place. It's ridiculous to think that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, you've got to take into content the fixtures that we had. We started off, obviously, Brentford are looking to be a really sort of tricky side to go to, and then followed by, obviously, City and that. We're not expected to win them sort of games. I think they're a step above us. So, really, if you actually judge on the games that we are supposed to be winning and getting points from, I think we're doing okay. I can see, like, we're sort of starting to get a bit of consistency, starting to get a little run going. Just want to see a bit better football, but that's just me being greedy. But you can see that we are starting to actually take shape. And if you look at our run of fixtures coming up, compared, say, to the likes of Man United, I'll be really disappointed if in 3-4 games' time we're not above them.
Yeah, I mean, Ludwig, is that the expectation? If Arsenal aren't able to, out of these next 3 games against Crystal Palace, Villa, and then I think it's Leicester, the third game after that as well, away from home, which is it's not easy. I mean, they've just beaten Manchester United and scored 4 goals against them, so it's not exactly going to be the easiest of games. But how important is it with these 3 fixtures, and how are you expecting Arsenal to perform? Because we've ground out results against Brighton and against Norwich and Burnley, and obviously we had a really good display in the North London derby. We haven't consistently shown top performances. So do you think for you, is it just a simple case of getting the wins, or do you want to see Arsenal put together these performances? How important is it for them to do that?
Well, for me, it's just, if we can get the win, and the good performances will be just a bonus. Because I can remember when Wenger was here and we always finished 4th, people always said, to be champions, you need to grind out the 1-0 wins. You need to grind out those close games. But now suddenly when we're doing it, it's not good enough anymore, which I find strange. But if I check the fixtures now, if we win our next 2 games, there's every possibility that we will be above United, because their next game is Liverpool, and Liverpool is playing really well. Salah is really looking like he's currently the best player in the world. So if United do lose that game and Tottenham is playing West Ham, if they draw and we win our next 2 games, we should be above both of those teams. So then that puts us in 4th place, because Brighton's probably going to lose against City. So we could be in the next 2 weeks in 4th place, but that's if we win our matches, which I think we can. It will be sad if we can't win both, but it's going to be a tough one, especially against Villa. Their fans are. It's going to be entertaining against them. That's all I would say.
Yeah, I mean the context, I mean the narrative of Emi Martinez again returning, Emi Buendia involved there as well, and just them bidding for Emile Smith-Rowe in the summer and all of everything that went with that. But Crystal Palace themselves are an interesting side, managed of course by Patrick Vieira. Jordan, they have made some really good signings this summer. Odson Edouard, who of course was linked to Arsenal quite heavily. Michael Elise has come in as well. Joachim Anderson at centre back, and they've got some young players too. I mean, Conor Gallagher on loan from Chelsea looks really, really good this season, and there is always the Wilfried Zaha factor too. So what are you kind of expecting from this Crystal Palace side on Monday evening?
Well, they play a very aggressive style. I think Gallagher actually is a very key person for them and how they play. For all their goals that you see, even against Brighton, for their goals, he's a key part of how they run. So Partey really has to make sure that keeps that midfield in check. But I also feel that if we don't go in scared, that we definitely can beat them, because their defense is okay, but we have the offensive potential. We have the ability, but the potential is really the factor that we need to focus on, because we haven't been using it the right way. But I think it's going to be actually a very offensive game on both sides. But sports I'll wait till later.
Yeah, we'll get into the predictions in a little bit. Pablo, of course, managed by Patrick Vieira. What kind of narrative, undertone, context does this bring to this game? Do you think it'll affect anything, or is it just another manager, another team?
I'm hoping we go with the attitude of another manager, another team. I mean, it's going to be nice to see Patrick Vieira back at Arsenal. I say the Emirates, he didn't play at the Emirates, but just like
he did for Man City.
Now ground. Oh yeah, I suppose so. But it'd be good to see him back. But that's it. Once he walked in, he's no longer nothing to do with Arsenal. He's the Crystal Palace manager. That's as far as it goes. As far as I'm concerned, I want 3 points off him, and we'll go all out for it. I mean, I personally think that he's going to come at us. Yeah, because I think he believes that we're there for the taking, and that could work in our favour, because we seem to do better with teams that are sort of trying to get to us than teams that are sitting back. We seem to struggle to break down teams that just drop and wait for us to attack. So being at home, if he does go with the tactics of trying to take us on, I think we'll come on top. Really do.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Ludwig, Wilfried Zaha up against Tomiyasu. We saw Emerson got absolutely skinned by Wilfried Zaha in that game against Spurs. This is going to be the test for him. He did probably have his worst game, Tomiyasu, against Brighton, and in particular Marc Cucurella. It's a different test against Zaha. Do you kind of have faith that Tomiyasu is going to turn up in this fixture?
I do. Well, Tomiyasu has been performing for us, so I really enjoy watching him. The last game was a bit tough, but Brighton does like the press, and they do play really aggressive. But I think Tomiyasu can pocket Zaha, and if he doesn't, I do believe Ben White can assist him on that side. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, but I mean, Tomiyasu's playing for Arsenal now. This is the type of things he has to prove himself with. I mean, eventually our backline is going to come up against the likes of Ronaldo and City and Salah even. So for us to win the games, our players are going to have to prove themselves against the best. And I do think we have a really good young defensive line. I think they'll only get better.
Absolutely. Finally, then, let's move round to our lineups and see what you guys have picked ahead of the game. Pablo, we start with yours. Talk us through the team.
Okay, well, I've gone for the usual back five. I think that's probably the most promising back five we've had in a very, very long time. So far, they've not done any wrong for any of them to be dropped. Yeah, Tomiyasu is going to have his work out so hard, but I don't know. I kind of think he's going to be okay. And then midfield, I've gone a little bit different. I think Partey and Odegaard would be a good combination. Obviously, we're at home, so why not go for it? We're missing that sort of killer pass or someone driving through midfield, and I think with them two in there, you kind of get the best of both worlds. And then I'd actually bring Pepe into this game because I personally think that he needs to prove himself, and he's getting to that point. He's got to take this opportunity now that we're lacking in midfield. So obviously Odegaard drops in. He's got to take this by the scruff of the neck now and start proving his worth, because otherwise, I'd rather just sell him. And if he can't show himself against Crystal Palace, although Crystal Palace are a team, but these are the sort of games we want him to step up. And then the others speak for themselves. Abba, Saka, and Smith Rowe.
Not tempted to switch out for Lacazette?
I did originally put Lacazette. You changed it to Abba, but then I kept it there because he's not had the best start of the season, but he's scoring goals. And I want to try and build on that. I think if it's not working out after half-time or just after half-time, I'd switch it around straight away because I feel that Laka brings Saka, Smith Rowe and Pepe more into the game than what Abba does. But we need Abba firing. And if we can build his confidence up and get him to get back to the scoring form that he was in before, then, yeah, all good.
Let's kick on then to Jordan's team. Jordan, talk us through your selection.
All right, same thing for me. Same back five. Beautiful. I love it. And then the midfields, we get into the 4-3-3. I like the three midfielders there because, like I said, this game, I feel that's going to be both teams going for the taking. And I feel that our midfields can definitely dominate their midfields. And I like Odegaard and ESR together in the midfields. I think that they both combine very well, but also they have to create a bit creativity to make it work. The one thing that I realize now that is in the lineup is that I actually would have Saka on the right and Pepe on the left, but it's okay. But regardless, the case is that I think Saka. That's it. Oh wow, that was quick. Oh, two Pepes.
See, look.
No, but I actually
extreme that he's having two Pepes.
No, but if I actually had a choice, but I think he's injured, is Martinelli on the left. But I think he's injured or maybe able to play, but I wouldn't risk it. But I think this is the best way of utilizing what we have on this team because I feel like we can use the Conga off the bench to, finish off the game, keep it defensive, but also have that control of the game. But by doing this later on, maybe not this game, but we can use Martinelli off the bench and be able to give him more of a chance because in the 4-2-3-1, it's hard to put him in because you have to put Pepe in too, So I think just give the chance to have a strong starting lineup. I'll also use the best way to use our bench off it.
Fair enough. Let's go to Ludwig's team to finish off.
So back five is the same as always. And I think last week I saw a photo of Holding and Chambers, and I was like, I forgot they played for us because they never show. So I felt a bit bad. And then the rest of the team, Odegaard is playing for Norway. He does play a bit deeper, which I don't like him there, but I do prefer for this game. It's probably fine. But so Pepe on the left, only because I like him better on the right, but I'm playing him on the left because for some reason our left winger usually comes in more and he's closer to the striker than our right winger. And I think that's a better position for Pepe to be more inverted winger than just stay out on the side the whole time, because I think that's where he plays his best football. I would use him like Liverpool uses Salah and Mane. Obviously, he's not the same player, and Oba is not the same as Firmino, but I would use him more as a goal-scoring threat than just someone who whips in crosses. And Saka's been doing really good on the right, so I think this is a really solid team. And I think Tomiyasu and Tierney, hopefully they can get up and force Saka and Pepe a bit closer to the box, and maybe they can get a few goals for us. And then I just hope Odegaard scores, and I hope. Okay, well, I'll do that when we get to the predictions. But yeah, that's my team.
I'm the only one who has then gone for the same team that played against Brighton. And I've chosen it because for me, I feel, and I agree with what Jordan said, if Martinelli was fit, I would have been tempted to throw Martinelli on the left-hand side of a 4-3-3, just to add that right foot alternative balance with Saka still on the right-hand side. The reason why I've gone with Lokonga is because I think that with Granit Xhaka out, we are going to need to build up this guy in these games. And this is an opportunity for me to see Lokonga play against another team that are lower down the league, at home, a chance to dominate an opposition side in a really opportunistic kind of game for him. And I think that the more we can give him, the more minutes we can give Lokonga from the start, the better we can build this guy up. I think that it's a system that can work. If he's good enough, he will do better than what we saw against Brighton. I thought he and Partey both struggled in that game. Partey arguably even more than Lokonga in that match, but defensively they both still obviously stayed very strong. It was just going forwards and how we escaped from that press that those two need to work on. Smith Rowe, I just love on the left-hand side. Smith Rowe, for me, playing on the left, I know he's not an out-and-out winger, but this wide playmaker role that Arteta's got him used in is definitely improving him. His pace is really underrated. If anyone saw the goal he scored for the under-21s for England against Andorra, that pace is electric. He can play that wide position. And I think giving the opportunity for Smith Rowe, Odegaard and Saka to feed Aubameyang again is for me, the best way to get Aubameyang scoring. We saw it in the North London derby. If you create those types of chances for him, he can get goals. Let's see what some people are saying in the chat box. Rob Reds, I think it's a waste to play Odegaard and Smith Rowe on the pitch at the same time. Sambi alongside Partey. I mean, you get both the best of both worlds in this example, I think. But if Martinelli was fit, I would have probably favoured the 4-3-3 like the other boys have gone for. Javier reckons that Bukayo Saka simply wasn't tracking back to help Tomiyasu, and that's why he struggled against Brighton. O'Malley says it's just another manager to Benjamin White's. Of course, Ben's comments at the week very much riled up the Arsenal fan base at times. Let's scroll up a little bit higher. Alistair says, I'm interested in the formation for this game, 4-3-3, possibly. And good evening to everybody else that's tuning in as well. We round off the show, as always, with our predictions. So, chat box, this is your opportunity to get what you think will be the scoreline on Monday evening. Jordan, we start with you. What do you think?
3-1.
Who's going to score first?
I think we'll score, and then they'll tie it up, and then we score 2 more second half.
Interesting. You got a name for a scorer?
I think it's going to be one by Alba. I think Smith Rowe. And, I'll gamble.
I love that you were really thinking about it as if you were remembering who scored.
I know.
Smith Rowe, maybe?
Yeah, I do Alba, Smith Rowe, and Partey, since apparently he's scoring goals all day. For
Ghana.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a different guy.
Yeah, for sure. We need some of that firepower in the Arsenal team. Pablo.
I'm going to go with 2-0 Arsenal. I'm pretty confident in our defence. We seem to be being able to keep clean sheets. And then for goal scorers, I'll probably go Saka and Alba.
And Ludwig.
So I'll go with, what I think, 2-0. I agree with Pablo. I don't think Oba is going to score because for some reason he's just not doing it.
You better because he's my blue fantasy team.
So I think Odegaard might score. Saka might come in with his sneaky assist. And then, well, I'm a Pepe fan, so I'll say Pepe scores. And
Fair enough.
if we do concede one, it wouldn't be the worst because that would put me above Tom in the fantasy league. So
Yeah, 2 Arsenal defenders. I need those clean sheet points. That'd be great. You see that from Ludwig, prioritising a conceding just to get above me in the fantasy league. Unbelievable.
If we win, we win. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. It's just priorities at the end of the day, isn't it? If you want to join our fantasy league, of course, you can do. Link is in the description. If you want to join our members one, you need to be part of the Discord server. So do get involved. In the chat box, Webster says 3-1 Arsenal, Saka to score first. Fala says 2-0 to the Arsenal. Billy says 2-0 to the Arsenal as well. Rob Red reckons that Aubameyang's going to score first. Dazza says 1-0 to the Arsenal. Sasha, our South African correspondent and brother to Ludwig, says 3-1 Aubameyang. Emil Smith-Rowe, Pepe, Partey getting on the score sheet. Thabo says ESR, Alba and Partey scoring in a 3-0 win. Omar reckons it's going to be a tight 2-1, as does Rob Red. And King says 4-1 to the Arsenal as well. O'Malley says 1-0 and finishing it off, say a convincing 1-0, but we are struggling to score. So there you go. That's going to be the end of today's show. So thank you ever so much for tuning in. I'd like to take a second to thank my guest, Jordan. Always a pleasure to have you on, Matt. It's your second appearance. Smashed it again.
Yes. About to start numbering like Sasha.
Like Sasha does, yes. Sasha loves to note down how many appearances he has. Pablo, always a pleasure to have you on, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Tom. Pleasure being here.
No problem at all. And Ludwig, glad to have you on. And I think we need to do this more often with you and Sasha separately. I think you get too confident when you're both on together. We just need you independently. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah, the problem is Sasha doesn't have a camera at this point, so
What's happened
he
to
can't
his
really
camera?
do
What did he do?
Oh, no, he just replaced his laptop with a desktop PC, so currently he doesn't have a camera.
An external one is what he needs.
I'm taking all his chances.
It's going to be stuck on those 4 appearances for a while now, it seems to be. Thank you so much, everyone that's tuned in. Do drop a like on the video before you go and subscribe if you're new. Pablo, did you want to say something before you went?
Yeah, Omar's reminding us of something. Third time I've had to remind Tom to give his prediction.
Yeah. I try and get away with it. That's what I try and do, yeah. I think I said on the Arsenal Lounge 2-0. So I'm going to stick with 2-0, and I think that just to annoy the people that think he's overrated, but I mean Ødegaard is going to assist both of them, and Smith-Rowe and Saka are going to get the goals. So there you go. 2-0 to the Arsenal. Saka and Smith-Rowe getting goals at the Emirates again with Ødegaard with all the assists. How's that for a prediction? We will see you tomorrow morning, as always, for the 8 a.m. show. There won't be a show straight after the game because I'm working it for Football.London. I'm on a 4 till midnight shift tomorrow. It's going to be working the graveyard shift during the game. It's going to be fun. I will be back at 8 a.m. on Tuesday to go through the game. So if you're a listener from the West, you'll have to tune in a little bit later unless you're mad and you wake up at 3 a.m. to watch the show, which I know plenty of people do. Jordan doesn't, but a lot of people do on the West and East Coast at ridiculous times in the evening. But the commitment is unreal from you.
Yeah, I'm close. I watch it at 5:30, but 3 a.m.
5:30 a.m. is still a joke, Jordan. You need to stay in bed, son.
Work at 6.
Oh, fair. That makes more sense. Makes more sense. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you again very, very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.